What's going on, guys? It is Simp here, and today I'm going to be giving you a recap of Major 2. Now, Major 2 could have been worse for sure, but overall I feel like Major 2 was a pretty fun event for, honestly, everybody, so let's just get right into it and talk about it. So, to start off Major 2, we had 5th seed, and that made us play the team of New York. Now, we were going to be either 4th or 5th seed no matter what because of how we played. And I don't think it really would have affected anything. But I think New York got 4th seed over us by literally such a small percentage that, oh no, it's kind of mind blowing when it happened. But yeah, we went into the tournament with 5th seed, played against New York. And I feel like the New York that went into this tournament was looking pretty decent in my opinion. I feel like with Paul, they have a little bit of spark right now, but I still feel like they have a lot of work to do, so. First map going to that series was Gavutu Hardpoint, and this has been probably our bread and butter for Major 2. So first map being Gavutu, I feel like we were super confident going into it. I don't know what our record was in stage 2 for Gavutu, but I feel like there wasn't really any times we lost it. I mean, it was close until around the second rotation. I feel like the second P1 on Gavutu is always like the make or break moment for games, I feel like, because it's very easy to start chaining hills in the second rotation, and it's honestly kind of what we did. You know, I think we made the first P1 scrappy and they got 30 seconds, and we ended up chaining the next P2, P3, and P4, even though they were setting up earlier. So a team like New York, I feel like we were pretty much gunning through, and they made small mistakes. Paul let me through on the P3, and I don't know, situations like that against a team like us, you can't really make those small mistakes. You have to kind of you have to let us work for the breaks, otherwise we're going to be capitalizing on all the situations. So we ended up just putting him in demon traps for the P, like I said, the P2, P3, P4, and we ended up winning the map. It wasn't even close. It was 250 to 150 or 120 or something like that. I don't think we've really played Gavutus that have been close lately. So super good start to the major with a 1-0 lead going into a Tuscan S&D. So going to the Tuscan search, this is when the Tuscan spawns have been changed. So I feel like the map has become from being very offense oriented to pretty defense oriented, because I feel like now you can pretty much get map control on defense without the enemy team getting there first, which honestly makes sense. But I feel like with that change, we've been playing Tuscan a lot better. I mean, our S&D is still iffy, to be fair, but Tuscan S&D has been one of our better maps for stage 2. But I think I went pretty huge. I 1v3'd to make it go 4-4 instead of 5-3 like them up. And then I 1v2'd to go 5-5 instead of just losing 6-4. So definitely had some losable situations. But I mean, that's the team, why we're the team we are, because we be clutching up sometimes. And we ended up winning the 5-5 round 11. But with the 2-0 lead, we ended up going into a Gav control, and with the way our Gav control's been looking, we were super confident that we were going to close the series out as a 3-0. So heading into the Gav, we had defense first, and right now it's really good to pick defense first, because if you end up tying in ticks, then the team that had defense the first round gets defense round 5. It doesn't go ticks then kills then that. It's just ticks and then whoever had defense round 1. So it's definitely good to be picking defense for your first round. But we ended up losing our first defense, actually. I don't know what it is with Gav, but there's a lot of times I feel like we underestimate the map sometimes. I feel like we get kind of caught in a blender, and I don't know, teams get on B and we kind of just break down sometimes. We ended up losing our first defense, and once you lose the first defense, that's a lot of added pressure going to the next offense, because you already know, on a defense sided map, that you're gonna have to win an offense, or at least get some ticks, for the last round. So but yeah, we ended up going down 0-2 in the control. Got another defense. I think we played a really good defense. I don't think we let them get any ticks for the most part, or they might have just got A, actually, one of the two. But we ended up clutching the offense, and because of the ticks that we had, we were able to get ticks on B our last couple offenses. Because of the ticks we had, we were able to get a defense round 5. And defense round 5, it's kind of a tall task for any team to win 2 offenses, and I don't know, especially since we already threw our first defense. I feel like we were playing a super like safe defense kind of strategy our last round 5, and we ended up just coming back 0-2 and winning the series. I feel like the way control is right now, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of times where teams can come back 0-2, because all it takes is to win your guaranteed like defense kind of win, and then get lucky on an offense, and then just like that you're round 5. And depending on how the rest of the map went, like you could very easily catch yourself in a round 5 defense position after being done 0-2. And that's exactly what we did. We ended up winning that series 3-0, and it was honestly a really good start to the tournament, because I feel like the maps weren't easy wins besides the hard point, so I think it was definitely good to kind of get our blood pumping in those close game situations early in the tournament. So our next match, our winners round 2 ended up being Seattle, and it was either going to be Seattle or Optic, and Seattle just ended up coming out on top and kind of slamming Optic. So we weren't fully expecting to play Seattle, but at the same time I feel like Seattle is a very streaky team on like when they're playing good or bad. So winners round 2 against Seattle was a wild series to talk about, so let's just fucking dive into it, boys. So first map was Tuscan, and you know, this match was very normal going into this Tuscan. We started the Tuscan and I was frying off the rip of the Tuscan. I don't even know what was going on. I was absolutely having, I almost got streaks, might have, I don't even remember. But around when it was 150 to 150, I'm bottom church. I peek out back church, and Mac is just standing there, not doing anything. Lamar's behind him, running towards field. I'm like, wait, there's 2 back church right now, guys. Like, I called it out normally, but in my head, I'm like, wait, why wasn't he playing? Next thing I know, it says the server, you know, the server closed, game lobby closed. Looking around, we're just sitting there for like 10 minutes, and bro, like, I don't know what happened. But apparently Mac threw up on stage, or like I don't know if he threw up on stage or if he threw up in the bathroom, but like apparently he got sick. It was just like a wild situation. I don't even remember the last time that happened in COD. I don't know. It was crazy to be a part of, because we were just sitting backstage for like 10-15 minutes while they were kind of like figuring things out or cleaning it up. I don't even know what was happening. We were just backstage. And then the crazier part is, after like all that happened, he came back and kept on playing. And it was honestly the most typical thing ever, because he came out frying. We restarted the map 1, and instead of us frying out of the gates, they were frying out of the gates. And I don't know, it was just a different Tuscan because of the restart. And luckily enough, we were able to win the restart, because I feel like there's a lot of times where teams restart and they lose full to restart and they don't win it. So thankfully enough, we were able to win the restart. And with that mapped up, that led us to another Tuscan, but it's Search and Destroy now. So let's talk about this one. So going into the Tuscan Surge, I think we had a decent bit of momentum on our side after the first map, especially because I feel like as a team, they weren't playing 100% because of the whole Max situation. But off the rip, Abizi made some really good play calls, and we started blind countering them. Like I think we double hit out P5 once or twice, caught him off guard. And then another round, I think we hit something else and caught him off guard. But I feel like with our search right now, that's kind of where we keep messing up. I feel like a lot of time we're like doing a lot of stuff together and it works, and then we stop doing it together and we start making like individual plays. And individual plays are never going to work if people are buddy on the map. Honestly, after the first couple of rounds, Seattle was pretty much in control. Besides a round or two, I feel like there was they kind of just got a stride on the map. They were just running around together, 2v1ing people, getting bloods, trading it out, and just working the map together. And I feel like we just miss that sometimes. But like I mean, I don't know. I think it's just like a switch like that could be made like mentally, not mentally, but like it could be just a change so fast that, well, I feel like as one of these S&D maps, it's gonna happen for us. And as long as we keep putting the time in S&D, as long as we keep coming up with new strats, I think we'll be fine. So we ended up losing that map 5-5. I feel like whenever we play Seattle, we always lose a 5-5 on Tuscan. And yeah, that brought us into a Gavutu map 3. So let's get into that one. So starting the Gavutu control, we start on offense. And in my opinion, we should have won this round. I think there were a couple situations where we could have filled in B more, or we could have played our lives a little bit harder in like certain places. But we ended up getting 4 takes on our first offense, and in my opinion, that is fine. Like, as long as if you get more than the 8 point in control right now, it's really good in my opinion, because there's a lot of teams who can't get that 1 tick on B or that 1 tick on the opposite point. So it's definitely good to just always have that +1 just to keep in the back of your mind. So we ended up losing the first round offense, got the 4 takes like I said, and we played a really solid round 2 defense, where it's probably one of our better in a match, to be fair. We put them in a really good demon trap, and I don't know, they just couldn't really get out. They couldn't really get any takes. And as soon as a team doesn't get takes on their first offense, it puts them in a really bad spot to kind of make plays. We ended up playing a really good second offense, and we ended up winning it. And that brought us to a 2-1 going into our defense. And, you know, we've been playing really good defense and good to control. In our first one against them, they got 0 takes. Second one, they didn't really get close either. We kind of just had them in a demon trap, and that was the map. We ended up winning 3-1. Pretty convincing Gav control, and that brought us to a bow cage hardpoint, which, you know, got pretty interesting. So in this bow cage, I started out pretty hot, and I feel like our bow cage right now very teeter-totters on when we're getting P1 time and when we're not. But like I said, I started out pretty hot in this bow cage, and I think I went on like a 20 death streak, no bullshit. I ended like 29 and 42 or something like that. And on a map like bow cage, one of your main subs can't be having that stat line flat out. I think we only lost by like a 3-point game, which, I mean, yeah, you can say we got outslayed and only lost by that much, but then at the same time, like, you know, one of your main subs can't be getting outslayed on a sub heavy map. So yeah, we ended up losing this bow cage. This was our first bow cage loss in hardpoint. I think we were like 10-0, close to 10-0 on it, maybe more. I don't even know. But that ended up being our first loss on bow cage hardpoint. And I mean, you could say Seattle got momentum from this hardpoint, but going into a game 5 search, I don't know if there's necessarily momentum for search and destroy in this game. So even if you have all the momentum in the world, like, teams can just be blind countering you, teams can just be reading you. You kind of got to just take it round by round and not get in over your head. And that brought us to a map 5 Berlin. So to start off this map 5 Berlin, we probably should have lost the first round. But Cell and Abizi ended up 2v4 in the first round, and this was probably the most important round of the game, because I feel like if we didn't win this round, then, you know, Seattle probably would have actually started to get a little bit of momentum, just because if they didn't 2v4, they probably would have won the round with like a 3 kill lead, if like 4 kill lead, like all 4 of them or 3 of them alive. And at that point, it's kind of just like a dominant round win, in my opinion. And you kind of just feel the moment out, and, like, you know, you can kind of just feel that they might, you know, be in their shit right now. So it's definitely good to start of the tournament with a 1v2 or 2v4. These guys always bring it down to the goddamn wire. I don't know what it is with Seattle, but they love fighting against us, or just bring their A game, I guess. I mean, I guess most teams bring their A game against us. I don't know. Sometimes it just feels impossible against some teams that, like, don't look the best against other teams. But, you know, we ended up winning the game 5, and, you know, with Mac being not 100% at all, the team not being 100% at all, you know, it is what it is. I feel like both of us kind of brushed the series off in a way. With that series dub, that brought us to winners finals against the Boston Breach. So going into the map 1 of the Boston series, we had pretty good maps for us. Our first map ended up being Gavutu, and right now our hardpoint's in a really good spot because most teams can't play us on bow cage, and our Gavutu's looking really good. So you kind of have to, like, pick your poison on what you want to play. And most teams are kind of just picking to play us on Gavutu right now. To start off the map, I got a 2-piece nade kill off the rip, and it kind of just set the tone for the map, in my opinion, because it was a smoke show. I don't know, we were just playing really good setups. We were out-rotating them, getting in hills, and we were kind of just getting free 60s. And we ended up winning this map like 250 to 125. And I mean, there really isn't much else to say. I was slamming them, you know, everyone was slamming them. With that 1-0 lead, we went to Desert Siege. And this map could have been interesting because Boston's been looking really good on it. But, you know, let's just talk about it. This map 2, Desert Siege, was probably some of the best search we've played as a team in general for stage 2. Because I feel like our teamwork in S&D has been pretty, you know, questionable at times. But yeah, we were getting good bloods. We had honestly really solid teamwork this map. I feel like as soon as we were getting bloods, we were backing up together. We were kind of rotating the map together. And we weren't giving any real free picks to Boston. But overall, it was a pretty good dub. There was one round they kind of tossed. They planted B, and then just everyone kind of ran away. No one was watching bomb, and we just hopped in and defused it. And right now we're feeling on top of the world. We had 2 pretty solid map dubs, not that close. And now we're going to a Tuscan control, which is, you know, arguably better than our Gav control. So going into this Tuscan control, we had a first round defense, and this is the one map when I started to realize the Volk, the gun was pretty good on Tuscan. I feel like there were a lot of gunfights this map where as a sub, I actually couldn't even compete. And as crazy as that sounds, I just feel like the Volk was literally like doing it all on Tuscan. I don't know what it is about that map and that gun, but it's just like the best. It's the best shit. So we ended up losing our first round defense, and just like the New York series, it added a kind of a ton of pressure onto us. Just because once you lose that first defense, you have to win an offense, because you know they did. So unless you want to even make it to a round 5, you got to win that offense. On our second offense, we ended up winning by caps. So instead of just winning by kills, we had the six ticks that round. And because of that, we were able to get defense round 5, and we were able to reverse sweep them because, you know, it's already a lot to ask to win one offense in a map. It's a super tall task to win 2 offenses in a map. So as soon as we had defense round 5, I think we all kind of knew we had it in the bag. Boston made it a little close. They had a couple good pushes, but I feel like besides one time where they stacked, I feel like there was never really any situations where I felt like they were about to win. That ended up finishing the 3-0 sweep of the series. You know, we were down 0-2 in the control, made the reverse sweep, and that made us win winners finals 3-0, which we couldn't have asked for a honestly better situation. And after that 3-0, we ended up waiting a little bit to play LAG in the finals, which was something we got to talk about. So going into this LAG series, we were extremely confident that we were about to take this dub. And I feel like the only way we could have lost this is the way we did lose this. And, you know, not saying it's a bad way to lose, it's a reasonable way to lose. We had very much control to win this series, as much as they did. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Map 1 was Gavutsu Hardpoint, and, you know, like every other series, we came out frying. With map 1 being Gav, I feel like it was really good to stop the momentum early because they were in a losers run, which means they had 2 losers matches before grand finals. And, you know, when you're coming out of match back-to-back matches, and I think they had 2 game 5 matches, you know, you're an experienced goddamn soldier out there at that point for that day. We were just playing our Gav. You know, we weren't playing anything crazy. We knew they could have been hot, but we played our Gav. In our listening, we had really good comms, in my opinion. I think we were really good at directing each other and kind of just making sure we were tracking people. And, you know, we ended up winning that map with like a 100+ point lead, which brought us to a map 2 boat cage. And this is somehow an interesting map for us. So going into Major 2, out of the 2 maps that had the bomb side change, Tuscan and boat cage we were by far worse at. And I don't know, in my opinion, like, we didn't look bad at it, but scrims going into it, we were losing it in scrims, like getting 6-0'd on the new map. And I don't know, I mean, I guess you could blame practice because, you know, sometimes we don't get the best practice, and that's on us for, you know, trolling our practice sometimes. I feel like it's also just teamwork. You know, most of these S&Ds are just teamwork, and if teams are going to get blood to stick together, then we got to be doing the same thing. So this S&D started a chain reaction of S&Ds because we couldn't win a goddamn S&D against these guys. And I will say, I think I saw a stat. I'm pretty sure these guys, LAG is really good at getting a first blood and just transferring it into round wins. When they get bloods, they're more than likely probably going to win the round. But overall, there weren't many rounds that like could have changed. MC had 1-1v3. He could have won if he checked bomb. Tyler had another 1v2. You know, we could have won some clutch situations, but, you know, you're not even supposed to win those situations that you have to clutch in. So yeah, ended up losing that map 6-4. And that brought us to a Gav control. And I think this is where the series probably got out of hand for us. So beginning this Gav control, we had defense round 1, which is really good to start on defense. And, you know, we played it fine. I don't even know if they got many takes. I think they capped A, like most teams do. And, you know, we just put them in a trap after that. It was really the first offense that we really messed up and put ourselves in a hole. Because in our first offense, we didn't get any ticks. We never even touched A. I feel like we were really avoiding the point, as weird as it sounds. Like, usually we stack like 1 or 2 people on it. I feel like this time we were kind of like not getting on the point, or like taking the routes we're used to taking. That first offense really hurt us because, you know, no ticks, no defense, no dub. Us winning a search is like them winning a respawn, in my opinion. So, I don't know. It's definitely not good. But, you know, down 1-2 going to the Tuscan hardpoint. Let's see what we can do. Going to the Tuscan hardpoint, I feel like this is when we really kind of started to lose momentum and kind of started to, you know, start slipping up, start making mistakes. Recently, we haven't been able to touch P2. And that's not good because P2 is the biggest money hill in the game. Then you combine that with some bad P1 rotations and a spark streak, and, you know, it's a recipe for disaster. We ended up losing the map. It was really, really close. I mean, we could have ended up winning at the end. We could have made like a 50-point comeback off the last P1. We ended up losing that Tuscan, and now we're down 1-4. Or is it 1-4? No, it's 1-3. Yeah, 1-3 now. So in this siege, the siege was probably the biggest map we got exposed on all tournament. Like this siege against LEG probably exposed how bad our teamwork can be at times, because I feel like this map we just started doing a bunch of random BS. Or not, I mean, not necessarily random, but very separate. And, you know, our small talk wasn't there. We weren't saying like child this together, like help me with this, help me with that. And LEG was honestly taking advantage. Like every round after the first, we were just chalked, in my opinion. And I mean, like I said, we just got exposed on the map. There isn't as much to say. We got lost the map like 6-1 or 6-2. There weren't really many rounds besides the first one or second one that we had even a chance. We just need to be better at S&D, like no bullshit. Because if we can't win S&Ds, we're not gonna be able to win championships. You know, we're playing every single S&D in best of nines right now. And that's where we've lost 2 best of nines now, where, I mean, I don't know, it hasn't even been that close, so we just need to be back on our bullshit. So honestly, if we were in a good control team, we probably would have lost the series here. But, you know, I think a good thing about this map is, you know, no one really chalked on our team. We were still going hard. We were still calling out. We were still doing our best to win the series. Because, you know, sometimes people start feeling the moment, they start shutting down. I'm not saying we do this, but I'm sure there's some players out there who, you know, play different in high stress situations. So I think it was good for us that we were able to be down 1 or 2 through 2-5, 2-4, and to be able to, or 1-4, and to be able to show this on live. So, and I think we just did a really good job of getting 2 or 3 kills on our last offense and just stacking the point to a point where we made them have to kind of run at us, because we got like 2 or 3 dead. We got a tick, got wiped, got another push. And we were able to get on the point kind of for free. And even though we kept the point and won the Tuscan control, it didn't necessarily feel like we were in control at all. Like we won it, and like the crowd was like whatever for the most part, because, you know, I mean, LG had a good story, but the crowd was like whatever. We were in the back, like, you know, obviously like it's a stressful situation because we're just in a rabbit hole right now. We're 6 feet deep and we're just trying to dig ourselves out. And, you know, there's obviously no reason to be happy, but it's just stressful. This Berlin S&D, there wasn't really much to talk about. It kind of just went how most of our Berlins go, or how most Berlins go in general, you know, kind of just trade back and forth. And like I said, we lost rounds, we got bloods in, and we ended up losing the map 6-4. So if we can win the rounds where we get bloods, and if we can just play normal and together, then I think our search will literally be back on top. I think we'll be 6-2ing everybody max, and I think we'll be winning every best of 9, because right now we can't win a goddamn best of 9. Just want to say, you know, quick shout out to Minnesota for hosting the event. The Minnesota was super, or not the Minnesota was super fun. The event was super fun. You know, LAG deserved the dub. I talked to Asim afterwards. He fried. He deserved it. All of them kind of deserved it. I feel like they were kind of the Cinderella story, and it just goes to show you how much teamwork and passion can really bring you. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to kind of have this little bit of off season. I'm super excited to have Major 3 or Stage 3, and I'm just super excited to get this season, you know, going. That's gonna be the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a like on the video. If you're new here, make sure you sub to the channel. I appreciate all you guys watching. You know, I really do. I know I don't upload much, but it's kind of hard to upload with my schedule right now. I'm trying to do better content, but I just gotta kind of plan it out first. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.